Hello, everyone out there. Welcome to Solve It Out. This is Annie here, and today I'm going to build a serverless to-do list in Next.js and will also connect it to the MongoDB for our database. So let me first show you a demo here. Here, let me write, hello, my YouTube family. So let me click the add button. So if I add to-do, you can see here almost immediately our to-do is being fetched from MongoDB. Now let me first go to our MongoDB, and if I do a refresh here, you can see, hello, my YouTube family is present in the MongoDB. That is, our to-do is getting stored there. Next, let me write one more. So that will be hi. This is Annie, and add the to-do. Yes, you can see the to-do is added. Now let me do edit like for the first to-do. If I click the edit button, already the to-do is now present in our input field. So I want to change the hello to hi. Okay. And if I click save here, you can see our to-do has been changed, or you can say edited. And if I check in the Mongo, then you can see, hi, my YouTube family, and hi, this is Annie. So all the to-dos, we are fetching it from MongoDB, and actually we are doing a CRUD operation here, create, read, update, and delete. And for delete, if I want to delete the second to-do, I'll just click the delete button. It will get deleted, even from the Mongo. So are you guys ready to do a serverless to-do list along with me? So let's jump on to the code. Here I have already installed Next.js 13, and for the first time I will be working on the app router. Inside the app router, there is a layout.tsx, a global.css, and a page.tsx. In this page.tsx, we'll work on it. I have removed the initial codes and have just written the solve it out or testing. And if you want to check my package.json, this is my package.json where you can see I'm using Next.js 13 and TailwindCSS and also TypeScript. So as we are working on the full stack, I want to install 4 more libraries. This is MongoDB.env and it types as we are using TypeScript. So first I'll install this and then we'll do and start our server. Is completed. Here, let's start npm run dev, and you can see I have just written solve it out here. So let's now start with our MongoDB connection. Now here I will be working with the MongoDB Atlas. We have to create a database after getting logged in, and in the network access I have changed it to access from anywhere for right now. We'll build a database here. I'll choose the free cluster, and here you'll not need anything. We'll create it. You can see here username, password. Here you should create your username and password. I have already created. Current IP address is also done. So I'll now finish and close. Here you can see here our cluster is being built. As our cluster is created, we'll click on the connect and we'll click on MongoDB for VS Code and will copy the URL. Here we'll create a .env.local file, and I have already created. This is my MongoDB URI, and the down is the public URL. Now it is localhost 3000. When you will work in production mode, please change with the production URL. Now for MongoDB, I'm going to paste it. You can see here this password. When you're creating the user, do copy the password and paste it here. So I'll quickly paste the password and then we'll move on to the Mongo connection. Now the work of this window has been completed. Next we'll go to the lib folder, and here I'm going to create mongodb.ts. In this file, I'm going to first import the Mongo client. We'll define the client. Then we'll create a client promise. We'll define its type. Next, we are going to create the constant URI. For URI, this is the link of the MongoDB URL, that is the Atlas URL. We'll create here the options object. Next, we'll check the error. If there is any problem in the connection, then we will throw this error. Next, we'll create the connection. If it is successful, we are going to pass in the new Mongo client the URI and the options. In client promise, we'll pass the client.connect. Finally, if it is connected, then we'll console.log the connected to MongoDB Atlas, and then we are exporting the default client promise. Now, after saving this file, we'll go to the app folder, and here I will create a API folder inside the app folder. Inside API, I will create a folder named todo, and inside that we'll create a file route.ts as I'm using TypeScript. So in this route file, I'm going to create the CRUD API, that is create, get, update, and delete. Okay, so there will be 4 types of functions here: get, post, put, and delete. So let's start. I will first write the APIs and then we'll work on its implementation and the front end part of the to-do. I've imported the client promise, object ID, and the next response and next request from the MongoDB, and the client promise from the our MongoDB in the diff folder. That is, we are exporting the default client promise, and here the next response and next request from the next/server. So first I'm going to write the get function. So let's start it. First, I have created a constant client where I'm calling the details of the client promise. The next, I have created the collection constant where I have created the connection with the database, and the collection inside the database is named TODOs. So now I'll write a try catch block. Here, inside the try block, I have initiate a constant TODOs where I am calling the collection, all the post, and I'm pushing it to an array. Then I will be returning in the next response the JSON consisting the array, and if I find it out, since it is if it is successfully retrieved from the database, then the status 200 will be shown. Actually, this is the API for getting all the to-dos. And now the catch block. Our get all to-dos API is completed. Writing APIs is Next.js is quite easy as that of I feel it, because mm, it's much hassle free. You don't have to build a connection between the back end and the front end and do that all extra work. You can just write the APIs here and easily connect it to your front end files. So next I will be writing the create to do API. So you can say we'll create a post function here. So let's do it. So two lines will be quite similar from the previous get function. So I'm going to copy those two lines. So for the post function, we'll have a request. We will be accepting a request and it will consist of only text. So here the request type will be next request, and here I have written await request dot JSON. We will be accepting the JSON body from our front end, and here I have destructured it to text only, as we will be only receiving the body as a text way, in text format actually. So next we'll write a try catch block. The catch block will be almost equal to our get function. So I'll copy it and paste it here. Inside the try block, we're going to write now I have created a const todo object where I am passing the text as the name of text. Means this is the way it's going to get stored in our database and completed. That is where a to do is done or not. That is, at first it is false when it is created. I am inserting insert one function of MongoDB, and I'm adding the to do in the database. Finally, we are returning the next response.json and the to do with a status of 201. So our post function API is done, and this is so easy to do, where you just have to write your logic and send the response. So our post is done. Next we'll do the put function. Our put function will be the update to do API, where we'll do some update. If we want some update, we'll do that. So for that, I'm using the put function. Now, one thing I want to say, that when you're using the API in Next.js 13 in the app router, then the function name will be, the type of the API will be the function name. That is, you cannot use any other function name here. Like I'm using get, post, put. You have to use the type of API you want to create here, because the different name actually you can give it here. That is, when you're creating an API, maybe you want to create a to-do list and also some user list. So you have to create another folder named user, and inside that you have to create route.ts, and there you can again uh, give the APIs of the user, that is get user, post user, or do some profile changes or with the put request. So like this way, if you want to create the new APIs, you have to create new folders, and the folders must have a initial page, that is route.tss. And for the exact functions to work or the APIs to work, you have to give the function name as the get API, as the post API, as the put API, or the delete API, or the patch request if you want to add a patch. So this is a point to keep in mind while working with the app router. So const, here we're going to have an ID, a text, and a completed status, that is whether it's true and false. Okay, so I have destructured the body and will again copy this to line. This is actually the connection to our database line which we're copying. Next, I'll write the try catch block again. And for the catch, it's almost the same. So we'll copy paste it here. Inside the try block, I want to write await. As I have written the await collection.update one, I'm updating the to do with this part, that is new object ID. Here with the previous ID, I'm creating a new ID instance where with the $set method, I am setting the new text or the updated text and the updated status of the completed. That is whether the to-do is completed or not. So I am updating the to-do using the object ID instance and the set function. Next, we'll return the response if it is completed successfully. So return. Next, response dot JSON to updated success, and with the status of 200. Okay, so our put function is also done. That is, our update to do API is completed. Finally, we'll write the delete API. So for the delete request, we will be accepting the post ID or the to do ID. So in the body, I have already destructured the ID here that we are going to receive from the body. Next, our connection, MongoDB connection part. Okay. After the connection done, we'll be writing again a try catch block. Copy and paste it. So inside the try block, I have await called the collection TODOs and have heated uses the delete function, that is the delete one, and have passed the instance of the ID that we going to select, that is the selected to do ID. I'm passing inside the delete one function. So if it's successfully deleted, then we'll return the next response, that is our delete request is done. If we are successfully deleted, then we are going to send the next response with to do delete successfully and the status of 200. So our 4 API request has been completed. The get to do, the post to do, the update to do, and the delete to do APIs are all done. Next, we'll go to our actual page.tsx, and here I'm going to do the front end and the API integration now. Let's start with the CSS part. I wanted here a black background, so I have given the BG black and text purple, and those are some of the displays related CSS. Now, every time when I write CSS, I always try to do it mobile responsive. You can check here, like for LG, it is flex row, and for normal, it is flex call. That means in LG, I wanted it to be side by side, and when it is not LG, that is in small to medium devices, it should be coming in the column direction. And similarly, like justify start, I wanted the elements to be starting in the starting position in LG, and in the mobile and tab view, I wanted it to be in the center position. I always try to do responsive codings. So if you follow my coding videos, you can see I maximum way I try to maintain the responsiveness of the website. Now I'm writing this CSS. Till now there will be no difference until and unless I give it here input field or a heading. So let me quickly write all the CSS part. So if I do a checking here, you can see nothing is still visible. It will come to view when we'll write some heading, which I'm going to write right now. Always remember, CSS is something which you learn while doing a constant practice, because memorizing all the CSS is not possible. It's only possible to practice or to write more code and to test and try yourself. Then only the CSS can be easily memorable to you. Now I have written two lines, that is solve it out's to-do list. So let's check it out. You can see solve it out to-do list I have written here. And as this is in the desktop view, it's starting from the left side. If I go to the inspect, you can see it's right in the middle. So this is what the exact code I wanted it. Now we'll move on to write the input fields. Here I'm going to write two input fields. One will be for the edit and one will be for the add to do. Now on condition rendering, I'm going to uh, make it visible one at a time. So let me first write it, then on doing condition rendering, I'll show how to make it visible one at a time. Now I'll write the value and the on change after I complete the front end CSS part. You can see our first input field is done. So this will be going to be edit to do input section. Now I'm going to add the add to do input section. So there will be not much difference. So let me copy this part. This part will be the add to do. So the little bit change that I'm going to do is this border color here will be purple for it. The button will have to add to do. So our both the input fields are now ready. Now before showing all the to-dos here, let me first take the states. Before taking the state, I want to define a type to-do. As I'm using TypeScript, it is important to define the types. So our type to-do will have an ID, which will be of type string. We'll have a text, which is string or null, and we'll have a completed, which will show the boolean value. Okay. So our type to-do is done. Now we'll define the states. First, a loading state. Loading states are quite important so that it's also user convenient and it's also very helpful while doing the code. You can see here, I have taken 4 useState values. One is the loading state, one is TODOs, one is new TODO text, another is edit TODO. So this 4 states only we are going to use one by one. First, I want to use the edit TODO here, as I want to do a conditional rendering. That is, okay, I want to write here if edit TODO, then I want to show this as this. You can see if edit TODO is true, then this save button, this input field with save button will be shown, and if it is not, then this add TODO will be shown. Okay. So if I save it, you can now see only single input field where there is only add TODO, as right now we don't have any TODO to do the edit, so we can only see the add TODO field. Okay, so now first I'll write the add TODO function. Will show how to add the TODOs to our database, and then I will fetch all the TODOs. Here in the add TODO input field, I'll write here the value that will be our new TODO text, that is this state value which we have taken. And next I'll write the on change. So on change will fire an event here, and then will pass in the set new TODO text the e dot target dot value. Okay, so our input field is done. Next, in the button field, we're going to add a on click function, and we'll write here add TODO. In the upper section, we'll define here the function response add TODO. It will be an async function. Now we're going to check that if there is no TODO text, then just return. Now we are going to call the API that we have created in this route.css, this post API. We are going to call it now. So const response you can see here how we are calling the API. Now this HTTP localhost 3000 is the link where we are, means our localhost is running. So this is the link. This is we are calling the slash API slash TODO. So this is the slash API slash TODO. We will be redirected to the route. And the next is that we are calling the post method there. So till here it is the file name, how we can reach to that particular file, and next we are indicating to the post method. So this is the post function. That's why I was actually making you understand that whenever you are defining a function, you must use the method type to define your function name so that it can be fetched easily. So this is will be our post function, method post, and in the body we are sending the text. Here we are, you can see we are destructuring our text exactly from our request.json, and here I'm passing the headers, which is a most common line where whenever we do an HTTP request. So this response will be the next response that we will be receiving after you know storing it in the database. So here let's write that const data is equal to await response.json. To check, I will be doing here a console.log. Then I'm going to pass the data, which is the response to our set to-dos. Here we'll keep a copy of our previous to-dos with the help of the spread operator, and then I'm going to pass the data. Here it should be to-do array, not null. Small mistake. Yes. This is the data and it should follow the array of this object. Okay. So yeah, either it will follow the this object, means it will consist the objects of this array, or it will consist the empty array. So our add to do function is done. Let us first save it and then we can check whether our to do is getting added or not. Okay. So this is my first to do. Let me click the add to do. You can see the input field is now refreshed. Let us go to our database here. Okay, here inside our collections, inside the cluster, inside the collection, you can see no zero queries there. So let me refresh it. Now you can see this is my first to do, and there is an object ID and also a completed section where it is right now false. To-dos are getting added successfully. Let me add one more. Hi, this is running. Okay, add this one here. Let me refresh it. You can see our to-do is added. Hi, this is Anne. So our add to-do is working fine. Next, we will get all the to-dos. So let us go and write the code where we can show all the to-do list here. To-dos. So to fetch our to-dos, I'm going to use the use effect hook. So below the use state hooks, let me write the use effect. Inside the use effect hook, I'm going to first fetch our get API. That is, this is the API. This is the get API which we are going to fetch. So here, with the fetch function, I'm going to write localhost 3000 as our application is running on localhost 3000 right now, and slash API slash todo. Then dot then and collect the response from JSON. Then we'll collect the data and we'll pass it to set TODOs. Then we'll make set loading to false. As you can see, our initial loading state is true. Whenever we will fetch the data, then it will be, that's why I'm setting it to false loading state. So here the use effect hook is completed. We will be taking a UL tag and I'm going to quickly write the CSS. Here we'll do a check of the loading state. So if is loading, then we'll show a message here. Next check is if TODO's length is 0, then we'll show a message here. I'll copy the CSS from the above line. And paste it here. We'll show the message here. If the TODOs are present, then we'll show it here. First, let us put the checkings. Then we'll map out the to-do list. The to-do type will be the to-do object that we have created, this one. We'll take a list tag and the key will be todo.id. We'll add the CSS. You can see here the loading. And you can see to our list, whatever we have designed, there is two to-dos right now in our list. So here we are actually fetching two to-dos. Let me write down more, then you can actually see the to-dos. Here we'll have a div inside which we'll have an input field and the text field. Input field will be the checkbox, the text field, and two buttons. So taking a div here, first the input field for checkbox, the type will be checkbox. I save it, you see, this is our checkbox. Next will be the text. You can see the text is here, the to-dos which we have in our database. Now we are fetching it to our website. Let me add the CSS. For the CSS, I want to do a conditional rendering here. So with the backticks open, I want to check here if todo dot completed, it will apply the line through CSS, else there should be list none. And outside this, normal CSS will be there. SPX4 with full and text yellow 500. Okay, apart. So if I save it, you can see it's looking much better now. Now we'll add the two buttons. Now two buttons are added, the edit and the delete button. I just missed out some of the CSS that is in this li tag. With full, there will be flex, justify between, and items start. If I save this, you can see now all of them is in the same line. Also for input field, so all of them is in the same line. It's looking clear right now. So we have successfully fetched our to-do. So get to-do is done. Now we'll do the edit to-do, delete to-do, and this checkbox. Okay. So in the edit button, let us add the onClick function. In the handle edit function, pass the to-do. The up, let's write the function. We'll fetch the to do here and we'll store it in set edit. Okay, done. Now, you remember we have created this input field for save. Okay? Whenever we'll click on handle edit, then in this edit to do, we will have the current to do or the exact to do which we want to edit. So that to do, I wanted it in this input field. So here inside this, if edit to do is present, then this input field with save button will come into play. And here I want to add value which will be edit to do dot text important, and next will be the on change where I'll fire off an event and it will collect our value, that is our input field is done. Now in the save button we'll have a on click. Now what we have done is that if I will click edit button, then this whole value will show here in this field. So if I click on edit, you can see as I click the edit here, this is hi, this is Annie has come here. We can change it to something like this. And if we click the save, it should get saved to our database. So the edit function must be done like this. So let us write the save function handle save, then we can actually check whether it is getting changed or updated in our database or not. So in handle save, first we'll check if edit to do value is there or not. If not, then return response response. Here we are going to fetch await fetch our put request. So here the method will be put. Okay, want to check this in our route.css. We have written this put function where we are taking the ID text and completed fields and we are updating our object in the database MongoDB Atlas. So this function we are calling here the local host and this is the method put, and we're going to pass the body as the response is done. Then check if response status equal to 100 and check if our response is successful, we will get a status of 2. We will check if our response is equal to 200, then on set to do, we are going to put this set edit to do. Now, see our handle save function. After if the response is 200, we are updating the present to do, which we are mapping out in the list section. So there we will update the particular to do value, and then will the edit to do will be set to null once again. Here we save it. Now we'll go and check in our database. Here, now here, if I click the edit, so here it came. Hi, this is Annie. So I want to add here from solve it. You can let me show you the database also once. You can see here this is our to-do. This is my first to-do, and hi, this is Annie inside the database. Now if I click save here, it should get changed from hi, this is Annie to this one with the added from solve it out. Okay, so if I click save, you can see hi, this is Annie from solve it out. It got changed here, and also in the database you can see if I do a refresh, you can see here inside the database also, hi, this is Annie from solve it out. It got changed. You can say updated, and the updated to do is fetch right in our website. So our update to do is done. Now we'll do the delete to do. Now to start with the delete, we will first write the on click here. On click and give it a callback function with the name of delete to do, and we'll pass it to do.id. Right, this function above type string function here. Here, right, const response equal to await fetch. Okay. You can check our delete method is coming from this function. This is inside the route.js. Yes, this is our delete function. So we are calling this method delete. Then inside the body, we'll pass lesson. Here we'll check if response.status is 200. You can check we are passing if it is successfully deleted, then status will be 200. So we'll check here. If status is 200, then in set to-dos, we are going to filter out the deleted to-do. To-dos.filter to-do delete is done. Format it, save it. Let us check if our to-do is getting deleted or not. I want to delete this one. This is my first to-do. So here you can see this two is present here. Inside the database also this two present. I will delete this one. Delete. You can see to-do is deleted from our list and also from the database. If I refresh, you can see so this is the first to-do that is deleted, that got deleted right now. So our CRUD operations are working fine. The only thing is left, that is this check one. So let's toggle function. Let us do it. To do the toggle function, we need to go to the input checkbox, and inside the input checkbox there should be some sections. Let's check first. For check value, it should be to do dot completed. Above we are going to write this toggle to do function. Here we'll fetch API. For the body, we are going to pass listen and completed value of the opposite what is present currently. Okay. If forms dot status equal to 200, see if the response is 200, then inside set to dos we'll pass the check. If the to do ID is matching, then the completed value will get updated. Okay. So here our toggle to do function is completed, and we'll save here, and next we'll go and check whether our toggle to do is working. If I click here, you can see our to do is toggle to do is working. That means this to do is done, completed, So here I'm going to refresh. I'm going to check. You can see completed is true here. Okay, and the text is null because we have already done. Okay? So let's go. Let's add some. This is task 1. Let's add the to-do. This is task 1. This will be the task 2. Let's add the to-do. This will be the task 2. And some more things to work on. So this is our third. So our to-dos are getting added. If I refresh it, you can see it will get added to our database also. You can see this task 1, this will be the task 2, some more thing to work on. And so this is working fine. Our add to do and get to dos. Let's edit this one. This is task 1. See, this is task 1. I want to change it to like 100. This is task 100. Task 1 to task 100. If I save it, you can see this is task 100. If I go and refresh here, this is task 100. Okay? If I want to now delete this one, I don't need this. Delete this. To do is getting deleted. And here also, you can see now no that to do is present. Only these 3 to dos are present right now, which we are fetching in our website. So I hope you guys have understood how to work on CRUD operations from the Next.js only as a serverless to-do list, how to build that. So this is Annie signing off today. Let's meet in another new project, and whatever doubt or more code optimization you have in your mind, you can write it down in the comment section. I'm going to read those all and hope I can reply you all. So till then, and this is Annie signing off. Let's meet in another new project.